Hello everyone and welcome to the semi-finals of the Magic the Gathering World Championships for 2010 with me, Pro Tour statistician Rich Hagan, and the Pro Tour historian Mr. Brian David Marshall. You see in the foreground Palavida Dama de Rosa, there he is on your screen. He is playing Guillaume Matignon of France in a blue-black control mirror. Palavida Dama de Rosa has kicked off with a tapped land. And looks like Inquisition of Kozilek is going to be the first play of this semi-final from Guillaume Matignon. On the back table, we have another Guillaume, another Frenchman. It's Guillaume Waffa-Tapa, and he is up against Love Jansa of Sweden. BDM.
And another blue-black deck.
And another blue-black deck. So, BDM, who you got in the two semis?
It's hard to root against Palavita Dama de Rosa here. I think Guillaume Matignon seems to think that Paulo is favored. It's a very tight matchup. Guillaume is typically very modest and very self-deprecating when it comes to his matchups. I have to admit I'm rooting for Guillaume because I want the tie. It is nothing personal against Paulo. It's
or against Brad.
But I do love the possibility of a tie.
Yeah. And a tie is something very alien to North America, because all sports, they don't really have ties. Even, hockey has their...
Occasionally the NFL will have a tie. But.
Yeah, but 1989, the last one.
So, Guillaume takes the cancel over a spreading seas or a disfigure. He's not going to take the disfigure here, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Paolo will return the favor.
Inquisition right back.
Jace the Mind Sculptor, there's a Preordained, Spreading Seas, Doomblade, Creeping Tar Pit, one more land. Paolo again, jotting it down, you see at the top of your screen. 7th Pro Tour top 8, and for both these, second time in the year, second time they faced each other in the top 8. This is a replay of the final.
Of the finals, that's right.
From Pro Tour San Juan.
So Paolo took the Preordain away. Little head scratching from Guillaume. But he has another one at the ready.
The front row of the arena here in Chiba has been completely taken over by Team Sweden. I imagine anxiously waiting for their first glimpse of Love Jansa and the Shark Hat. We'll keep them up to date until we get to live action for them and many of you around the world. Looking forward to seeing GWT Guillaume Waffa-Tapa against Love Jansa.
There's a Jace, which is going to get mana leak.
Yeah, there isn't a Jace. It was there, but no.
You see a couple of dead cards sitting in Paulo's hand.
Is that Disfigure and Consume the Meek there?
Yes.
And so he also has Inquisition of Kozilek.
Jace sticks for Guillaume.
Yeah, so there are two in this game so far, one of which is French and in play on the battlefield, one of which is Brazilian and not on the battlefield. It is in Paulo's graveyard, and that is a proverbial 1-0 at least to Guillaume.
So Guillaume chose to look at the top of his deck because the Creeping Tar Pit is able to just finish off the Jace if all he does is Brainstorm there.
Okay, so he goes up to 5 counters, loyalty on Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yep.
The Creeping Tar Pit, Julie comes in, puts Jace TMS to 2, and then Matignon will go again. knowing that, in a sense, Jace has brought himself another turn because
Certainly.
Paolo has had to spend all that mana to get the Creeping Tar Pit to go to work. This time I will Brainstorm, says Matignon.
Well, now he's got the untapped Tectonic Edge, so if he wants to activate a Creeping Tar Pit, he can shoot it down before it gets anywhere.
So there's a Disfigure there, there's a Doomblade spreading seas.
And in that sense, the Disfigures are not that dead.
No, because of the Creeping Tar Pits.
Yeah.
Sounds like news for Sweden that turn 4 of that match features Jansa coming up with a Primeval Titan, 2 mana ahead of the curve. And they all applaud. Oh, bless him. Just think what it'll be like if he's winning the world title. Easy, boys. Plenty of time to go.
Looks at Disfigure, Consume the Meek, and Inquisition with his Duress.
In the background, you see Jansa with the shark hat, and beyond him is Guillaume Wafatapas. There's Paolo. He seems to have been sitting there pretty much all year. Just that head resting on a hand. Matignon, so I'd like to preordain. I think all but one of the preordains in this top 8 so far have resolved. The one being the one that Randall needed to go and find a second land against Palavida Dama de Rosa in Game 5 of the quarters.
Right. And Sweden is up 1 game on France now in the other quarter, in the other semifinal.
Indeed, Love Jansa
Johnson.
leads 1-0, courtesy of that turn 4 Primeval Titan.
And there comes the Creeping Tar Pit, and there's a Disfigure.
So a quick game 1 in Jansa against Wafatapa.
I'm going to see the other Tar Pit get Tectonic Edged. So Sinkhole and Strip Mine for Guillaume Matignon.
And the blue Planeswalker Edge continues to be 1-0 to the Frenchman.
It was interesting last turn he preordained. He had brainstormed with Jason, then just pushed those cards right to the bottom. When he preordained, he didn't even look at them again. He was just like, I didn't want those two.
Yeah, they can go. Paolo flicking Consume the Meek and Disfigurer round and round. Matignon fetches.
Shuffle some cards he didn't want back in.
So that's the first point.
First blood. He's going to cast Spreading Seas on the remaining Tar Pit.
Matignon, remember, only 3-3 in Standard with this deck on day 1. So he's got a 4-3 record total now. Palavida Dama de Rosa was 5-1 in Standard, so now 6-1 with the deck. So he has the edge there. I'm going to Brainstorm. I will see another Jace the Mind Sculptor. Preordain, and is that a Consume the Meek? It is.
It is. We see Paulo's foot tapping nervously. The shot we really want to see is Brad Nelson's foot tapping.
Yeah, for a moment I thought it was Brad Nelson's foot tapping. I thought they'd just taken us to the backstage area. I wonder where Brad is. I know I've seen him around
I
the
just saw him
building.
around behind the stage. He seemed pretty calm, actually.
Yeah.
It's like, not in his hands at this point, so.
And the thing is, what's the worst that can happen if you're Brad Nelson? You have 63 pro points, you're level 8, everyone thinks you're an absolute god of the game right now.
And they're right.
Yeah, oh, totally.
So the thing to keep in mind about Brad Nelson's performance is this is 63 points, or however many it ends up being with his extra points,
Yep.
on 9 events.
That's right. He's played 6 Grand Prix, 3 Pro Tours coming into Worlds, and then he has Nationals. So this is his 11th event of the year.
You don't see, you see people getting to these totals with, you know, in the case of Paulo, if he wins, you know, possibly 2 finals appearances in the Pro Tour in a year. Or like when
Martin Yuza has played in 17 of the 18 GP this year.
Sure, and when Shuhei won, you know, he was traveling everywhere.
Yes, literally every event.
Handful of cards for Matignon, who whistles while he works.
Inquisition, Spreading Seas.
Cancel. Jace. Some land.
Some land.
I believe it's 2 Spreading Seas.
All right, okay. So that's the end of the brainstorm portion of the turn. And now I'm going to cast Spreading Seas. And draw. And Jace the Mind Sculptor continues to dominate this opening game.
Spreading Sea is my own land.
Because I'd actually like an island. Back we go. Cancel.
Yep.
Matignon continuing to improve his draw quality. Going to brainstorm again. And every time Paolo flicks those 2 cards back and forth, Disfigure and Consume the Meat continue to reveal each other in a near endless loop. Tectonic Edge.
Say go.
And straight back the other way. Nothing to do from Paolo.
Follows down to 4 lands. And it's still a non-basic land, even though it's a an island.
Indeed.
So he's able to tectonic edge it.
So that means we're down to 3. 3 basic swamps in play for Palavita Dama de Rosa. And now I'm going to Fate Seal me, and this is the march of Jace the Mind Sculptor towards 6, 8, 10, 12, and then over the top. Looks like the current likely outcome. Misty Rainforest for Paolo. He now looks like he's got a Grave Titan in hand.
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm. Okay. There's a Mana Leak, Jace Bellerin, and a land. Matignon will put land and Doomblade back on top.
Gripping Tar Pit.
My 463rd land. How are you doing for land, Paolo? Not so good.
Paulo doesn't want to thin his deck of land here, so he's not going to break that Misty Rainforest.
No, indeed.
He also doesn't want to... He would like to leave as many lands in his deck as possible for him to draw.
And it sounds like a minor play in that you're going to have 17 land left or 18 land left. But over a number of games, over a number of formats, over a number of years, that's the play that actually gives you the edge over the non-pro.
He takes the Disfigure, which turns out to not be a very dead card at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see some Tar Pit action.
There it is. I decided I didn't like the idea of being disfigured, so I got rid of that. In I come. Paolo now does crack the Misty Rainforest.
Looks like he drew a Preordain.
So I'll find my my blue. And there is Preordain. Matignon says, that's fine. Doomblade Spreading Seas is what Paolo sees on top of the deck. There you are. What a great shot that is. Over the shoulder. Looking below at Doomblade.
Kind of wants that Spreading
Grave
Seas for
Titan.
the... But he can't take it. He needs land.
And ends up drawing Mana Leak. Blind, as it were. So Matignon holding the edge here in game one. You see Wafatapa and Jansa in the background. Jansa leads 1-0 on the back of his Primeval Titan on turn 4. And we'll take you to see Guillaume Wafatapa and Lovi Jansa at the conclusion of game one here.
Another Inquisition of Kozilek.
So, of course, away goes Manalik.
And then here comes Grave Titan.
Boom. Paolo Shaw.
Yep.
And that is game one to the Frenchman Guillaume Matignon. He moves one step closer to a World Championship final and a potential playoff with Brad Nelson. Paolo will still need 3 games here to be Player of the Year. So we are going to take you to the back table, which is going to feature Lovi Jansa of Sweden, the 26-year-old from Linköping in Sweden. If we can get the profiles up for the back table, that'd be great.
So as we've already told you, Love's up 1-0. He got a very early Primeval Titan out against the blue-black deck and was able to ride that mana advantage to victory.
Doesn't matter. And so you can see on our master shot, there's the super cam going across the top of the set.
That's actually like the security cam that they leave on at night after everyone leaves the
the arena.
Yeah, there's your Love Jansa.
And there are 2. Lovi Jansa in the Shark Hat. Guillaume Wafatapa looks like that might be an Inquisition of Kozilek resolving, could be a duress.
Guillaume Wafatapa is the actual shark here, isn't he?
Well, yeah, one would think the pro shark circling the waters, blood in the water. Oh, and in fact, that's memory side, and away goes a whole bunch of Titans. Didn't like getting Primeval'd last time. And away they all go. Jansa looks like an Olamog the Infinite Gaia in his hand. Wafatapa has Jace the Mind Sculptor in play with 5 counters on. And it's 1-0 to Jansa. Wafatapa having a good look through the deck. That's one of those sort of hidden benefits of a card like Memory Side BDM, where you actually get to look through the entire deck. Even though you found the correct number of copies,
sure.
It's like, oh, let's do a quick memorize off my memory side to work out exactly what you brought in against me here in game 2. So Jansa now gets to reshuffle his somewhat abused deck. It always feels... do you not feel it's like when...
Violated.
You always feel a little violated, even when they look at your hand, but when they actually pick up your entire library and it's like your life history is laid bare, it just feels... ugh.
Throw your best 4 cards off to the side,
Yeah.
like there's so much refuse.
We'll get rid of these. You can have the remnants back. Oh, not nice. So Wafatapa, talking at lunch, he was saying it's always a little bit scary playing against Eldrazi because, you know, they can do nuts things. And you can't always deal with that.
Draws Draga Tree Speaker for his turn. Reveals Ayavugan.
Mm-hmm.
Plays Ayavugan. It's his first land drop.
So over we go. What's there now? That looks like Summoning Trap.
It is.
And talking of information, this is a case where Oracle of Muldir is a bit of a double-edged sword.
Certainly. But he's, that's an Eldrazi temple. He has the ability to search for something now with his Ayavugan.
Attack Jace.
I'm going to attack Jace with the Oracle of Muldir. That'll put Jace, the Mind Sculptor, back to 3. Wafatapa looking at Doomblade, Grave Titan, Ratchet Bomb that will not be getting to 15. Don't get your hopes up at home, despite what BDM says. And is that a second Doomblade there, I think? So there's Jiraga Tree Speaker.
Interesting. Chooses not to.
Twice.
Level it twice.
Chooses not to search with Ayavugan.
Well, he has.
Guess he wants that summoning trap.
He has Ulamog. in hand. And Wafatapa looks at his blue Planeswalker. He only has 1 mana untapped. A profoundly uncomfortable state of affairs for a control player. And in fact, I'm just going to level it 3. Level it twice, pause, level it a 3rd time.
Level go.
Yes. Wafatapa then. 29 years old from Nod. It's 1 card, so Wafatapa knows full well that it's Alamog the Infinite Gaia.
She has more than enough mana to cast next turn.
Indeed. Remember, it's already 1-0 to the Swede. You see it there on your screen. Wafatapa will brainstorm. Another Doomblade, another Grave Titan, and the land goes into hand. One of Wafatapa's great strengths is his ability just to appear calm throughout proceedings. You never feel that he's under any pressure. I think probably the first time I saw him in serious action was a Grand Prix top 8 where he was drawing, I think, something like 9 land in a row. So he Doomblades the Jiraga. And you would never have known that he was just literally with nothing to do, land. Of course he died eventually, but he made his opponent work for it all the way, and that's one of his big strengths. Getting rid of the Tree Speaker does set Yanto, it sounds horrendous to say, sets him back,
right,
given how much mana he's got available, but it does set him back.
Another Doomblade, this time on the Oracle of Moldaya.
Mm-hmm. So game's like, let's just see how long we can make this go.